Hey MVPs, Rico Knows here. Going to talk to you guys about the defensive line groups. If you just saw, I did the free one on ACC. This one won't be that long. I'm going to just get to it, give you guys my assessment on all the players and stuff, and you guys can enjoy the information. Come back and check on these teams. So in this video, we'll be talking about the Conference USA, Conference USA, they have two new teams, Delaware and Missouri State. If you look at the icon on this picture, like the thumbnail I'm going to use for this video, it's not going to have them on there. I couldn't find them on any graphic outside of like an early signing day conference class or something. So anyways, these are all the teams. The reason I don't have any assessment on Delaware and Missouri State, I'll be 100% honest with you guys, is I don't know any of the players on the rosters. So I know every player in FBS, and I can easily assess FBS teams because I've been following all these players for years upon years. So it's easy for me. I know these guys for 3 or 4 years by the time I see them on the field. When I get to Delaware and Missouri State, I don't know the players. So it's a lot for me to evaluate those teams. Those are all new players that I'm looking at and trying to understand their journey and who they are and what they are. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm probably going to wait till I'm a little closer to the season, or I'm going to wait for the start of the season and actually watch games of them playing. And then I'll have film on them because I don't have film on teams that I don't follow. You know, it's just the reality of the situation. I wouldn't have film on a team from the FCS, for example. So we'll just talk about the teams we know. And these are the teams in Conference USA. What you need to know about the teams in Conference USA is this is a different talent level compared to all the other FBS teams. Like if you look at these percentages and you look at who they have and what they are, there's only about 3 teams in this conference that I think are comparable to teams outside of the conference. That is obviously Liberty. They're at 38% so far right now up until this point, right? And then there's Middle Tennessee State and Western Kentucky. I know a lot of people are high on Jacksonville State this year. I'm going to have to see it on the second half of this list here, but I'm not on Jacksonville State like that. I have a lot of respect for their defensive front. It's pretty damn daunting. You see the numbers up here. Very impressive. Very comparable to Liberty. Very comparable to Middle Tennessee. But that's about it. I'd say the biggest surprise to this point in doing my evaluations across all the teams is Middle Tennessee. I think there's going to be a sneaky good chance here that they find ways to win games and nobody else expects it. And if you look for a futures bet on that, we'll have to figure that out. I haven't looked at any futures yet. I need to identify the next 3 columns first, and we'll be doing that over the next 3 weeks. And then I will look at win-loss totals, and I'll do my projection for the entire season, if you will. But let's get after it, and let's look at these teams. FIU is looking very terrible in the defensive area, defensive line, defensive tackle area. We have Quanlin Hill here. He's a redshirt senior. I said chunk of a guy, but they lost their starting nose tackle, so this is what you got. You got an NAIA transfer who's now here, right? And then you have the NAIA transfer, Lucifer Tudor, this guy right here. He reminds me of a Bishop Sycamore, Bishop Sycamore player. And that's what I have. He's going to be a neurosurgeon or a researcher is what this guy says he's going to be. That's crazy. Okay. He was in 2021. All right, let me do this again. He was in 2021. He was at NAU. He got no playing time. 2022, I remember him. UNLV, never saw the field. 2023 went to Saddleback, which is a JUCO, played in 7 games, and then 24 he was at Ball State, played in 4 games, 5 tackles. Now he's here. It's just crazy. I'm not buying any of this stuff. I don't even understand it, but we need another 300-pounder. So they bring one in. It's just bad. Anthony Smith is here, freshman, Chaminade Madonna product. He's 350 pounds. I hope he's starting by the end of the year. I hope he's up there by the end of the year. I really mean it. Shout out to them for getting a product local, staying home, believing in him. It's crazy. You're 350 pounds at Chaminade Madonna, meaning every major school has seen you, and they still didn't want you and didn't like you. So, okay, let's develop that kid and make him great. On the other side here, number 19, I can't say the name. You can say it, but 19, look for number 19 this year. He looks grown. He's 6'7", 315 pounds. He started his career at Virginia. He was there for 4 years. He got onto the field in 2022, a decent amount, then transferred to Marshall last season. 8 games, rotational guy, and now he's here to start. Been around college football for a while. You go and get a grown man like that. And Conference USA, it doesn't take much. If you hear somebody's a Conference USA preseason all-conference team member and stuff like that, that doesn't necessarily mean they're any good. It's just the conference has no one returning. Every roster in here was gutted by the transfer portal, and this is the bottom of the barrel in college football. In FBS level football, this is the worst conference by and large. There's a huge gap in talent. There's not, like I said, there's only like 3 or 4 teams from this conference that can even stand a chance against teams outside of conference. Remember that when you're looking at matchups for money lines and stuff, and you're trying to compare these teams to other Group of 5 teams, and you think it's a coin flip, they're equivalent. Not so much. Not really. You can see the money. You can see the money put into the Group of 5 teams like Tulane, Louisiana, Charlotte. You can see in the American the amount of money those teams have and how they're applying it to their roster. They're winning in the transfer portal, whereas these teams are left with the leftovers, and it doesn't look good. All right, next guy is Jermaine Carter over here. Not big, claims to be 6'1", but I'm saying he's got to be 5'11". His nickname is Big Mac, if you don't know. Jermaine Carter is Big Mac. He's 5'11", 285. Does get decent leverage on film, so he's hard to move, like a little tree stump, if you will. Zion Chapman over there, Lackawanna College, JUCO transfer, 6'4", 300 pounds. Big guys, not very skilled, but he's big. Okay. Keegan Davis is their edge rusher up top, number 44. He is 6'4", 350 pounds. He's third team All-Conference USA. Listen to me. Third team in the preseason All-Conference USA. He started 4 games in 2022, none in 2023. But yeah, I just think that when he's on the field, he makes no plays. Watched him. I'm watching the guy, and I'm going, oh, no play. And I put little tick marks, and I go, no play. He just doesn't make the play when he needs to. Or when you think he would or should. So, whatever. He did play last season. He did play much better than normal. Maybe that's development, but it is what it is. He was there. I still think he's a below average starter in the Group of 5. I do. I'm sure he's the best player on the team over here. Best guy they got, but that doesn't mean anything to me. All right, Armin Armitage, the Canadian up there. He is a Canadian kid. He's a Stanford transfer, but he's 6'5", 270, so he looks the part. 4-star out of Blair Academy in Jersey. I think it's utter nonsense. He's been at Stanford for 4 years, lifting weights and getting better, but he didn't play in 2024. He'll probably be a decent rotational guy, but this is a young man. Once I see you going from Jersey to Florida to Stanford, and I'm not saying this particular individual, but if I see players and they attended high school here and then they attended high school here, I just know it was all manufactured by their parents. And I think it's ridiculous. And I just don't believe it. And then you're a 4-star and you never got on the field. I don't care. Don't care. You just can't play football. You look the part, but you can't play football. We had a guy like that growing up. His name was Michael Craven. He was one of our linebackers. And he was okay. He was a starting middle linebacker. He was good. 6'3", 225 pounds. And he looked chiseled. He looked great with his shirt off. Dude had every muscle in the world. Could not tackle his soul. Missed every tackle. He almost like a cartoon character, the way he moved around. He just like bobbled his head and did all kinds of shit. We're just like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? We yelled at him every day on film. He was worthless. Couldn't play football. Not a lick of football. And then one summer, we all went to San Diego State for a passing camp. He didn't go to the passing camp. He went to a Nike camp at UCLA. The rest of us went to San Diego State for 7-on-7. And we're balling. We don't need him. He's terrible. We don't even want him anyways. And he went to the Nike camp, came out, and they named him USA Today All-American. We have 13 Division I players on our team. He is a USA Today All-American, preseason All-American. Started talking about how he led us to CIF championships and back-to-back this, that. Dude, he wasn't even in our top 5 best players. We were embarrassed. We were like, what is this? We have a 2,000-yard rusher who's everything. We got a quarterback going to San Diego State. We got a receiver going to San Diego State. We got all these. They're talking about this guy over and over. LA Times will write stories about him. LA Times will put out stories telling us Michael Craven is leading our team to victory. Every time we won, we ended up in like the top 25 polls or whatever. Every time we won. We were CIF Southern Section, blah, blah, blah. Every time we won a game, Michael Craven. And we're like, who is this guy? He sucks. And they wouldn't listen. And Bobby Bowden showed up to school. Bobby Bowden showed up to practice. You need to come to Florida State. Why? Because they're reading all the clippings. And he's 6'3", 225. I'll never forget it. He went to Stanford. It was down to Florida State, UCLA, and Stanford. He goes to Stanford. And his father said in the paper, oh, it's because education matters more than sports. Right? He got to Stanford. Homie might have a Stanford degree right now. Might be doing very well publicly. Business, whatever. Terrible football player. Terrible. Got Stanford, never was any reliable guy. I can remember they were talking about 4-star, USA Today All-American, 4-star. Couldn't start a lick. I don't think he started more than 2 games. He started games his freshman year and never again. He said, get that guy off the field. He can't play football. Oh, he was terrible. I'm just letting you know. So when I see a 4-star, it doesn't move me. A 4-star who never saw the field, 4 years at Stanford lifting weights, I know what I'm dealing with. I know what I've seen it firsthand in real life. Shout out to them. I'm just keeping, sorry for the rant. Steven Shannon. Steven Shannon, 3rd guy on the depth chart. I like his tape, is what I wrote. Was a Conference USA freshman team. Was on the Conference USA freshman team as a freshman. But he's 6'4", 260, and they're bringing in transfers over him. But I like his tape. It feels like he should transfer down. He should transfer to FAMU or Bethune-Cookman to get playing time. You're already a junior. They're not using you. They're bringing in people over you. You should transfer down in competition. Steve Shannon. Even though I like you, transfer down. Dante Anderson, the other transfer over here at the rush position. He's a Florida State transfer. Homestead. Shout out to First 48. He's from Homestead, which is the hood. The hood. If you've never seen First 48, that's a tough spot to come out of. 6'5", 250, 4-star recruit. Saw the field a little bit. FIU has to be excited to get him from Florida State. Dante Anderson. This is pretty awesome stuff. If they could have kept him at home, it would have been great. If you don't know, FIU, South Florida. Lamont Green Jr., Florida State as well. Florida State transfer, but he's been on the bench all day. Another 4-star recruiting miss. This one's actually a sophomore, so he's got time. Let's see him develop and become a baller and go out there and do his thing. I'm excited for him. And Todrick Bruton, guy that I've always believed in. I've watched him play. I've watched him do well on the field on Fridays, and I hope it translates to college someday. But as of right now, they brought in 2 transfers over him from Florida State, all big-name guys. And this is what FIU needs to do to be successful. Go get the Florida State cast-offs. Keep the talent at home. But you got a guy like Todrick here. He's a Northwestern product. Shout out to Miami Northwestern. His huddle tape was nice. This was an All-Conference USA. He was on the All-Conference USA team. I don't know what's going on. I like Todrick Bruton. So all in all, FIU, not terrible on the edge rushers. It comes across as a 4, which is an average edge rusher team in the group of 5. But those guys in the middle, they're just trash, bro. I'm not believing in any of them is what I wrote. Speaking of trash, we got a 2-2 score for Kennesaw State. Not good for Kennesaw State. It's tough, and they're picking up the pieces where they can. They're trying to find the right guys, and what do they got? They got Talon Carter here, first team USA, first team in the USA. Yep, he's first team preseason, 6'1", 300 pounds. He started 7 games last year. You're first team in the preseason because you started 7 games last year I'm talking about Kennesaw. This is Jacksonville State. Holy shit. Excuse me. I'm tripping, bro. I apologize. I just realized as I was talking, I was like, wait, hold on. This is Talon Carter. So, Jacksonville State. Jacksonville State has a good team. They have a good defensive line. If you've been looking at the pedigree of their defensive linemen for the last couple of years, they had one guy transfer. Chris Hardy was amazing. Chris Hardy, number 91, actually transferred to Ole Miss and got in the rotation. Unfortunately, no minicamp invites, didn't make it on the NFL roster. But Chris Hardy was great. And I think that they probably have some remnants and some leftovers from the recruiting of Rich Rodriguez and his staff. Like, they went out and got really good players, and they evaluated them well. They're really good at what they do. So now you take over a team, and I don't want to get into Charles Kelly conversation in this video. I'll wait for the last one. But it just feels like he'll probably run this into the ground and make them terrible. He's just not a good coach. So I don't expect much from these guys. Shout out to Rich Rod. He's got a defensive line coach. His name is William Green. William Green and Rich Rod were here doing the damn thing at Jacksonville State, finding all the right players. And then they leave to West Virginia. And you got to ask yourself, why didn't they take Talon Carter with them? Why didn't they take Daryl Prater with them? Like, some of these guys can really ball. And I understand a few of them don't have the right metrics. I'm going to talk about it when we get to it. But it's crazy. Like Jawan Campbell, Carter, they're both sophomores, true sophomores. They're both very good. Why not take them to West Virginia? Maybe they're loyal to where they're at. More power to them. But let me get back to Talon Carter here. I apologize for saying negative things about him. I meant to talk about Kennesaw State, and then I realized who I was talking about. But it left me thinking out loud. Like, you have some young studs, first-team All-Conference USA guys, and you don't take them with you to West Virginia. It's nuts. In the back up there, the transfer, Curtis Perry. Curtis Perry, I think this is a gem for Jacksonville State, but everybody needs to just slow down a little bit. So remember, this is a young man who was at Alabama. Coming out of high school, he decided to go to Alabama. Cool. He was one of the best defensive linemen in the state of Alabama. And it was fine. But then I went and watched his tape, And I was very clear when he was transferring up to Virginia Tech. I said, oh, no, he can't play up there. First thing I said, nah, he can't play up there. Nah, he's a 4-star. But just understand that if a 4-star transfers in from Power 4 program, Alabama, Virginia Tech, 4-star, comes in, and he's backing up a true sophomore, that tells you how good Talon Carter is. That's an indication of how good a talent Talon Carter is. Because a 4-star just showed up, been in major programs for a while. He's a junior transfer, and they go, nah, you get in the rotation, bro. Then there's Jawan Campbell over there, the left end. Jawan Campbell is 5'11", 270. Yes, he doesn't have the right metrics for the NFL. He doesn't have the right metrics for the Power 4, but he's a gem, bro. He's a first-team All-Conference USA guy. He is in the preseason. He's a beast. That guy's just a dog. Doesn't have prototypical size. Just a beast of a guy, and I like him, okay? We have Stansbury backing him up. Stansbury's a senior. He's an Arizona State transfer. Last season, he did play in 13 games. He had one start, but he's a nice depth piece for them. Been in the rotation, and defensive lineman rotation is really important. There's heavy rotation guys that alternate series. There's light rotation guys that kind of get in on certain situations. But if you're in the rotation, in the 2-deep rotation at defensive line, whether it be tackle or ends, you're playing football. You're good. Don't worry about it. If you're not in this first row, but you're in the second row, you're playing. That's real. You're playing half the game. You're playing 300 snaps a year. 300 snaps. Starters are playing 500. You're playing 300. You're playing. Okay? It's important you guys understand that difference. And then Corbett Mims over there, the third-string guy. Corbett Mims, an Arkansas State transfer. He was a JUCO guy before that, 6'6", 252. I think he's got the right size for Conference USA, but couldn't really get in the rotation at Arkansas State. So here you are. You're just going to be third rotational guy over here. And then we have Prater, Daryl Prater, 6'3", 300 pounds. And these teams want 300-pounders up front. He played in every game last season. He was rotational. But just trust. Like, he's always been rotational because he's been behind some phenomenal pass rushers. Just know that, okay? Being on the bench over here at Jacksonville State isn't bad for what they've had. Shane Peyton Hodges, 9 games played, rotational, much smaller than the other defensive ends. He's more of a linebacker. I think he's in the wrong defensive scheme. He's the size of a 4-man front defensive end. 3-man front, those guys are going to be 270 on the edges, on the ends. He's 240. So he's the size of, he belongs in a 4-3 defense. He's the wrong defense. Shane Peyton Hodges, wrong defense. Good player, wrong defense. I'm cool with him, though. Needs to be like in a 4-2-5 or a 4-3 scheme, for sure. And then Jamarion Larry, I wrote FCS caliber. Watching his tape, FCS caliber, and he's third string. It's fine. Kennesaw State. Now we get here. Kennesaw, T. Rations. Kennesaw, looking at it for what it is, Jaden Grimes, Pope High School product over here in Georgia. 3 games last season as a freshman. I said he feels like a late bloomer. Mike Jones is backing him up. That's a transfer from Virginia Union and Catawba College. Dude, if you're finding players at these places, this was a rotational piece at Catawba for 3 years, Division II school. And then you go to Virginia Union, you get 6 sacks, you look nice. But if you're finding people at Virginia Union, bro, you're better than me. You're better than me at this job. I'm telling you that right now. AJ Miller, young depth. He needs more. Needs more time. He does. Needs more time and things to do things. He's just young. Let him get after it. Marcus Patterson is the starting edge over here. Remember, you want to be around 270. He's 6'3", 260, a Western Kentucky transfer. They probably got to be excited about this, but he's a rotational guy at Western Kentucky. Got some playing time. Good to go. Good luck with that, all right? Adam Watkins, Decula High School. He's been in school a long time, but he honestly looks like his pants don't fit him on tape. Adam Watkins, his pants are always falling, sagging. Maybe he doesn't wear a belt. I think it's terrible. I can't play football without a belt on. It's just your pants start falling. Feel saggy. That's crazy. He's also 300 pounds, though, but I think he should be more effective than he is. You can see where they saw Adam Watkins at the edge position. He's a senior, redshirt senior. And they said, that's fine. We got him here. We're going to bring in 2 transfers to compete with him. That's just the way they get down. They know he's not it, right? He's been in school for a long time, and they know he's not it. So they go out and get transfers. Elijah Harper 6'3", 235, much smaller. He's from Emory and Henry. If you don't know who the Emory and Henry Wasps are, shout out to you. They were Division III up until 2021, and then now they're Division II, just so you know. But he was at Charleston Southern, and he only played in 4 games his final year there. And he just looks like affordable depth, just a guy that's depth or whatever. Tylen Dunlap. Changed his number to number 5, by the way. He's not number 50. He's going to be number 5 this year. Tylen Dunlap, Georgia State transfer, 6'1", 266. He was a rotational guy at Georgia State, if I remember correctly. Then he shows up here and he starts every single game. He's not terrible, but I don't think he would be third string. Let me rephrase that. I think he would be third string at most Group of 5 schools, and he's your starter. I think he'd be third string. It's crazy. Roderick Daniels is backing him up, the transfer. Roderick Daniels is a Liberty transfer. Sorry for getting so close to the mic. He's a Liberty transfer, and I think he made 1 tackle last season at Liberty. He's 6'2", 250. I don't think he belonged at Liberty. He's a former JUCO guy. So look at, man, they go Northwest Mississippi. I can talk about this all day. They go first team all-conference in JUCO, and then they're like, yo, I'm going to go to Liberty. No, you're not. You're not good enough to play at Liberty. But you thought you could, and now we're here, so let's do it. You're gonna wanna. I don't know how to say his name. His first name is Yagana. He changed his number to 55, by the way. He's not number 90. And he's from South Cobb. South Cobb, shout out to him. I don't have any clue. South Cobb, Georgia, by the way. I don't have any clue if he's FBS caliber. Not a good team, bro. Not where it's at. And these guys are bargain shopping from fucking Roses. Does anybody know what Roses is? You guys know Roses? The store Roses? It's bad. Liberty's got their defensive front up here. You see the scores for Liberty. It's pretty good. For whatever reason, we're not doing La Tech. Let's go. We'll do Liberty. Screw it. So Liberty's up here. We'll start with Liberty doesn't put stuff on their school website on purpose. They don't put stats. They don't want anyone to know anything about their players. Good thing is I know their players, so we're okay. But defensive tackle, I have Bryce Nixon. I'm looking at La Tech. My bad. Yeah, there we go. Bryce Dixon, first team preseason All-Conference USA at nose. He is 6'1", 280. He started 4 games last year, but then he lost his starting spot. He still played in every single game. Like, the guy had 508 snaps. He might as well have been the starter. Seriously, Bryce Dixon is pretty good. Mike Jarvis is his backup. Mike Jarvis is 6'4", 295, Wisconsin transfer. Redshirted last season. He's a big guy. I like him. Looks like a big body. Remember, you want to be around 300 pounds. Marcus Clark, that's an App State transfer. Rotational guy at App State. Hoover product. He's going to be rotating here. This is a good depth for a team in the Conference USA for sure. You can see defensive tackle for Liberty. They got a 5.25. It's the 3rd best defensive tackle group in Conference USA. It really is. Eli Hall's here. Eli Hall is a 6'3", 265 transfer from Wake Forest. Notice he's not 300 pounds. 265. Former 4-star, though. Former 4-star. He's played before. Junior transfer. He can play. Don't get it too. I'm not surprised to see him ahead of DJ Jackson. DJ Jackson is an NC State transfer, North Carolina State. 6'2", 280. He's been injured the last 2 years and didn't play at all in 2022, 2023. Then he got to play enough to get 9 tackles last season, and then he's here. Great. Sometimes it makes you wonder, like, maybe he'll find his old form again. But they're getting just a bunch of big-name transfer guys. That's it. Aaron Hester up top, defensive end, highlighted. He's a transfer. Aaron Hester, 6'2", 245. Florida State transfer. He played in 3 games last year during 2 blowout losses. I think it was SMU and Florida. When Florida State was getting absolutely smashed, he got in the games, and then he got in the Charleston Southern game. So 3 games, 10 tackles. Looks like a good transfer. Especially for a team in Conference USA, right? Donovan Dozier, nearly 0 playing time last season, and they're probably very happy they landed Hester to be the starter there. They're going to find somebody to start there. They couldn't go into the season with Dozier. And then you got Brazil, number 1, the Joker. Brazil, he's first team USA preseason, first team all conference, best player on the defensive line. He's got every award watch list. 2023, he was honorable mention. Although he only had 3 sacks, he had 11 hurries, which really matters. So Brazil is the best player on this defensive line, and he's the Joker, number one. Brenton Williams is backing him up. Brenton Williams is, what did I write about? Oh, he's the Auburn transfer. He's 6'3", 260. He gets a little more playing time than others, but he played in almost all the games, not much impact. Then Jennings was behind him. Jennings is a North Carolina transfer, minimal impact. Look, listen to me. They're getting North Carolina, Auburn. They're getting major program transfers. They got to make the most out of what they're getting. They got to develop these guys. Was it all recruiting misses? I don't know. A collection of recruiting misses isn't great, but it's better than what these other guys have on their roster. I promise you, it really is. So shout out to Liberty. La Tech, new defensive line coach Paul Rudolph. He was at Indiana before they all got fired. Remember when Indiana was bad, 2023? That was their defensive line coach. They got Christian over here, Christian Davis. On the inside, he's young. He's played a little bit. He's 6'3", 318. I think he's a stud for La Tech. Let's keep it in perspective. He's not a bad player. Their starter last season was David Blay. He's at Miami. I just talked about him in the ACC video. They're probably missing their starter immensely, just so we're clear. Behind him is Jaden Matkins. Jaden Matkins, Lamar. He went to Lamar out of high school, FCS program in Texas. Then he went JUCO. Then he was an All-American, had a breakout season, and now he's here. He's 6'2", 290. I know he had offers from UTEP, North Texas, but he took La Tech. Good get if he pans out. And that's good depth at the nose tackle position for La Tech, just so we're clear. Okay, but he's a good depth for sure. Defense tackle Zion Nason is next. Zion Nason, number 96. He's a graduate transfer, meaning he's a grown-ass man, and he's second-team all-conference in the preseason. 6'2", 302 pounds. He was a JUCO guy, Mississippi Gulf Coast. He got 4 starts, or he played in 4 games back in 2023, and then last year all 12 games. Wait, no. That was 2023. Last year he played in all the games, if I remember correctly. No, he only played in the Final Four. Oh, this is the guy who intentionally redshirted last year. Oh, shit. It just hit me. Yeah, so I don't know how you feel about that. A guy who plays in the Final Four games of the season after sitting out most of the year, intentionally redshirting to save his eligibility. Congratulations, maybe. It's a good, smart move. Coaches had to talk with him and said, hey, let's get you in next year. It's pretty cool. Vivians is behind him. Travell Vivians, number 95. Travell is a Hines Community College transfer, which is another JUCO, 6'2", 293. He didn't play last year. I think he has baby fat is what I wrote. Baby fat. That's never a good way to describe another man. You got baby fat. Armory Edwards, 6'2", 303 from Colin Community College. By the way, Colin, they got an amazing wide receiver. Just so you're aware. One of my Rico Knows hidden gems. Don't see anything from him for 2024. He was at the JUCO in 2023, but transfers this year. Yeah, it's weird. Defensive end, Donovan Ryman. Donovan Ryman, Kansas State transfer. Been waiting for this moment, bro. He didn't play much last year. He didn't play last year at all, but he did play a bunch in 2023. Then he didn't play in 2022. I think there's something to be said about a guy showing up from K-State, 6'4", 258. He's gonna be good for them. La Tech will have a good edge rusher if he's healthy, and that's where I'm at on that. Judd's his backup. Judd is young, 6'2", 251, special teams guy last year. And Dallin Page, the incoming freshman, 6'4", 225. Shout out to, I think he's a Mississippi kid. Shout out to him. Caleb Sims is below, transferred. Again, they didn't want to go in. All they have is freshmen up here in the 2 deep. That's crazy. So Caleb Sims shows up to save the day. Caleb Sims is a former East Texas A&M. Remember Texas A&M Commerce? They changed their name. East Texas A&M. He's 6'5", 265. He started his career at Navarro College. Then he went over there to East Texas. Even at East Texas, he was a rotational guy. Jumps in the portal. I saw when he had the offer to Stephen F. Austin, and he just moved on. Now, when I watch him on tape, he looks the part, but the tape is from 2019. 2019 Caleb Sims tape. Excuse me. Jacob is behind him. Jacob Bradford. He's a 3-star player, redshirted. He did have a Colorado offer. He's 6'1", 267, redshirted last year. Navy and Army also offered him, and his brother used to play for the team. His brother's name was Jordan Bradford. He was a Conference USA honorable mention kid, if I remember correctly. The other guy is Caleb Coleman. He's a transfer from East Texas A&M again. He's another transfer. He broke his leg his senior year in high school, so there wasn't much tape to go find on him, but he's 6'4", 250. So this is just not championship caliber stuff, but there's something here to work with if you got the K-State kid and you believe Sims is going to come in and rip it. Let's see what we got. It feels fine. Shout out to their 3 score of La Tech. 3-3. Middle Tennessee. Now, this is where Middle Tennessee gets sneaky good, guys. Remember, we're talking about a senior quarterback. Although Nick V hasn't always played great. Senior quarterback. Has some weapons. Has a tight end coming into the transfer portal who was once a target by Kentucky. And some others, right? Former 4-star, turned into a 3-star, whatever it is. Just feels like Nick V is going to put this together, and he's got to get the right pieces. And defensively, they have the right pieces, at least up front, for sure. I haven't checked the whole defense, but they got some stuff up here. MTSU, you see it, 6.5 on the defensive end. That means above all conference. They're that good and that deep, and the players look that great. So I'm with it, bro. Shout out to them. DeMonte Smith, second team all-conference in the preseason. That's your defensive tackle, nose tackle. He's 6 foot, 300 pounds. Shout out to Savannah. Shout out to Island High School. If you didn't know, that's where he probably went to school. He missed most of 2023 with an injury. Last season, he started 8 games in the 12 games that he played, and he was very, very productive, and he played a ton of snaps, bro. He doesn't come off the field. Where most big guys like that, 300 pounds, you got to rotate them off or they're too tired. He was in shape and could play more snaps than most people. I'm letting you know. Gillespie's his backup. James Gillespie transferred in from – oh, no, he's not there. He transferred out. James Gillespie. He's at Sacramento State. Transferred to Sacramento State for sure. He's not on the team. Shakai Woods, the other starter at defensive tackle. Beast of a player. Only a sophomore in the starting lineup. This is a kid out of Douglas County, 6 foot, 280, Conference USA freshman team. He had 9 starts last year in 12 games. 533 snaps. I think Shakai Woods is too good for MTSU. Like, I think he'll be in the transfer portal next year. Someone's going to pay that guy. He's too good. I'm letting you know right now. Felix Hickson is his backup. South Carolina transfer. He played in 11 games. He's fine, but it's a South Carolina transfer, and he's backing up Shakai Woods. You come from South Carolina, and you're still the backup? That's crazy. Jadoris Morris is the third-string guy, number 99. He's a Peach County product, but he's small, man. He's 6 foot, 260. You got to be 300 pounds. You got to be 300 pounds if you want to play in the FBS on the defensive line nowadays. Teams are just going to go find recruits or transfers from any level of football that are 300 pounds over you. Period. Anthony Bynum. Anthony Bynum is the number 0 up there. You see, he is a second-team preseason in conference play or second-team all-conference. He has 11 starts last season. He was a redshirt freshman out of Newton, Georgia. He's a stud. Anthony Bynum is a stud. Aiden is behind him. Aiden Butts. Some of you guys know about Butts. Stevens County, small school, 4-5A. Small school here in Georgia. 6'3", 260 rotational guy. And then Tyon Robinson. He's a 3-star, 6'4", 261. Sneaky good team at this point. That's what I wrote. This is a sneaky good team, guys. Sneaky good team. Important when you're looking at wins, losses, and upsets. Covering spreads, things like that. New Mexico State. You see the number. They got a 1 and a 2.75. Defensive tackle, Cole. Cole's from Quincy University. He's 6'2", 300 pounds. I don't know what any of this is about. I have no idea how he's second team all conference. They must have saw something I didn't. And I'm talking about Phil Still. Phil Still made him second team all conference, and I don't know what's going on. I don't. Tavila Tatama is 6'3", 306. He's a Snow College product. He's from the America Samoa. Like, he's from the island, American Samoa. Josiah Jackson is the other starter at the defensive tackle position. He is a Davidson transfer. Nothing warrants this move. Nothing would ever. Outside of them needing more 300-pounders. Henry's behind him. Henry Davis III. Palomar Community College, 6 games, 6 tackles, and you're now at the FBS level. You go to community college, 6 games, 6 tackles, and now you got a Division I offer. Why? Because he's fucking enormous. Henzo Pierre Teo, to you. It's probably to you. Enzo Pierre to you. Long Beach Community College. I got Long Beach Community College. That's all I got, bro. I got nothing on that, dude. Gabe Peterson. Oh, the starting edge rusher, Gabe Peterson. 6'2", 255. First team All-Conference USA. He played in 12 games last season with 2 starts. He made 17 tackles. Now, this was all at Utah State. But now you're first team All-Conference. That's crazy, bro. The dude made 17 tackles. 2 starts last year. D'Emmanuel Brown is the backup. He's a Boise State transfer. 2 years at Boise, never saw the field. Never saw the field at Boise. Hope he comes out. Hope he does well. There's also another defensive tackle. His name is Ezra Christensen. He's from Fresno State. Deep Fresno State bench warmer from Poway High School. He's not on this chart, but I know he transferred in. So hopefully he gets in the rotation because they need help. Sam Houston. Sam Houston's still sneaky decent. Now, they're below average, but they'll annoy the hell out of you from time to time. I'm not with it like that. AJ Sargent, the starter up there, he's a Tarleton transfer, but he's really started his career at Coffeyville Community College, 6 foot, 280 pounds. He was at Coffeyville for 3 years, played in every game at Tarleton, but this is not a good look for Sam Houston. You can't have a guy 280 at nose tackle. That's not cutting it. Not cutting it at all. Shout out to Dylan Frazier. He's 6'4", 275. He's the backup. He's from SMU. Once again, not another 300-pounder. They have a 280 and a 275. Not a bad player, though. He does rotate in and does play. His huddle tape is a defensive end on every single snap. And he was not a starter last year. And now he's a nose tackle. I don't get it. Lawton's the other defensive tackle. Lawton's a Cincinnati out of high school, so he goes to Cincinnati. That Cincinnati. And then he transferred to West Virginia for 3 years. He never saw the field. Now he's on the all-conference watch list. It's silly. He had 35 sacks in high school, but he never got another sack after high school. He's never seen the field anywhere. Ever. Zaquay Lawton has never seen the field no matter where he goes. Am I saying that right? Yeah, I'm saying that right. It's crazy. Is it Joshua Freyer? Joshua Freyer is his backup. Joshua Freyer never played. Once again, he's never played. He's been here, but he hasn't played. He's 6 foot, 280 pounds. Nobody's 300 pounds here. Keelan Cox, top defensive end, 6 foot or 6'5", 250. 5 years in college football. He's a Manville High School product. He went to Tyler as a JUCO, then tried to walk on at Alabama. The fuck are you doing? You go to a JUCO, you don't get any Division I offers, you think, so you're going to go walk on at Alabama. What? So he walks on to Alabama, finds out, well, this isn't it. He leaves. He goes to Texas. He goes to Wyoming first. He goes to Wyoming, misses 2022 because he got injured. 2023 didn't see the field. Then he leaves to Texas Southern. So once again, Alabama. You go down to Wyoming, and then you go to Texas Southern, which is an FCS school. Terrible one. It used to be terrible. And he makes second team All-SWAC. 6 sacks. Congratulations. And then there's Ryan. So that's who's starting for you. Just so we're clear. That's who's starting for you. Am I talking about Keelan Cox? Yeah, I'm talking about Keelan Cox. Starting for you. Sorry about that. Ryan Gilliland. Not on the roster. Dude's not even on the team. That's just not real. Our lads is wrong. Hang in there. I'm a little tired. I'm going to get through it. UTEP. I got 2 more teams. UTEP. Ashton Coker here. Ashton Coker is 6'2", 290. He played in 10 games as a true freshman. That's great for them, but he doesn't pop on tape for me. Still think it's a really good recruiting get for them to get a guy up front and doing his thing. Joey Lightfoot, not on the roster anymore, so don't worry about it. Katie Johnson, the other starter there, 6'1", 275, not a 300-pounder. 6'1", 275, 2025 preseason Conference USA honorable mention. Last season, he was also honorable mention. So they must really like Katie Johnson, the coaching staff and stuff like that. He started 12 games. He's very good. He's a Kilgore JUCO. He's fine. Kelton Farmer is behind him. They brought him in the transfer portal, 6'4", 290. That's a Kentucky Wesleyan transfer the last 2 years. He started 11 games last season. He looks like good depth. Derek Burns is the starting left defensive end. And Derek Burns, if I can write this carefully, he's a New Mexico State transfer. He played in 1 game and was a JUCO transfer. You heard me right. He played in one game and was a JUCO transfer. 9.5 sacks at Kilgore, but I didn't see it at New Mexico State. I think he could have been kicked off the team for a discipline issue or something at New Mexico State. I'm not even joking. Probably needed a new start, fresh start or something, but I just don't know what happened to him. I don't know. Elijah Baldwin, that's the backup, especially if he's starting for UTEP. Couldn't start in New Mexico State, but he can start for UTEP. It's weird. Elijah Baldwin, the backup, number 32 there. He's just a freshman, and they don't want a redshirt freshman in the starting lineup. He's also 6'7", 230. Not big enough to get there, but he played in 4 games, and then he redshirted. Obviously, they're going to bring in transfers to beat him out. Bowser's here, number 44. Bowser's 6'5", 255 from Garden City. He's has the right size they're looking for, but your guess is as good as mine if he can actually play. Like, he's 6'5", 255. Cool. Can he play? I don't know. I like Ecal Taylor. That was a freshman last year, true freshman. Played in 10 games. He was in the rotation, so I hope he continues to develop and play. He's good. He just needs to keep eating. Western Kentucky's the last team. They're 4-4, which means they're about average on their defensive line and edge rushers. Western Kentucky, you have Sakal Peters. He's 6'1", 295. Where is Sakal? Am I tripping right now? He's not here. What happened to Sakal? He gone. I see Eric Etienne. Well, I have a different starting line. I have a different assessment, I guess. That's weird. Eric Etienne is here. Eric Etienne, 6'1", 310, Norfolk State transfer. Norfolk State. Cool, man. Jakeem Fletcher not here? No, Jakeem Fletcher's starting at 52. Yeah, Jakeem Fletcher's here. That's the Alabama State transfer, 6'1", 312 pounds. They go and find 300-pounders. And he started 4 years, or he played 4 years at Alabama State, but he never started in those 4 years. So he's been at Alabama State, rotational guy, and now here he is. He gets to start in the FBS. That's fucking news to me, bro. Rylan Philo, right behind him. Southern Utah transfer, 33 games, second team all-conference while he was at Southern Utah. He's also 6'1", 320 pounds. Jaden Gray up top. Started his career at Iowa State, minimal playing time. Then he went to La Tech. He's been in the rotation the last 2 years, never popped on tape for me, but he's starting here. I'm glad they found a guy that they believe in. I don't know. Who's next? Venson Sneed. Venson Sneed is 6'4". He's an Indiana transfer. He's been in Indiana for 3 years now. He did play in 12 games in 2023, but then Indiana upgraded the talent on their roster, and he was no longer in the rotation at that point, which is crazy. Macavalley. Where is Macavalley from? Nevada, Utah Tech. Why do I have Sakal Peters? I think he changed his name. What made me write Sakal Peters? It's got to be the same guy. I watched film on this dude. For whatever reason, I have the wrong name. But it's the same guy. Huh. I don't like when my notes get mixed up like that. Either way, that's Conference USA. Sorry if the video was boring. You got to learn about every single team in America. Come back to this video when you want to learn about these defensive linemen. I will be doing full team overviews. I'll try when we get the full defensive number. But this is for the MVPs. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows.